Hi guys, welcome to the flight today as we're in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 with a Pmdg 737-700 Ryanair livery. As we're down in Basil, we're going to be taking our way down to lovely Franjo Turman down in Lima Delta Zulu Alpha. As we leave out of Basil for runway 15, we'll be departing on the IXEG 7 Sierra, coming in on the Ludid 2 Zulu for the transition at X and in for runway 04. So don't forget to like and subscribe guys. Thanks to everybody who shows support to the channel, and now we can get inside the cockpit and start the aircraft up ready for our departure for runway 15. Here we are in the 737-700 using ultra settings, boosted up the LOD up to 210, and we've also got the SSD in, so it should make smoother delivery with the talking to one another on the PC side of things, so it should make loading times just that little bit more faster for us and a little bit more enjoyable. So we'll go overhead now. We'll get the battery on and guarded, standby power is guarded, and the ground power is on, which is checked. Get the one pump in for the APU. Get the APU already and started up, so we'll flick that on, that'll flick back. On the emergency exit lights, get the chimes on with the fasten seatbelts. Panel lights can be turned on as we go from bat to ground power, which is also checked and set. Go overhead, we're on the IRSs to a nav, so 1, 2. Test the flap settings, which are checked. Got a faster line on, so that'll be done pretty quick. Flight directors can be armed, which are checked. Window heats can be on, get the PISOs on after engine start. Passing over to auto, engine isolation valves open. APU bleed with engine bleeds can go off. Going for a flight double, it's only going to be around 90 minutes on the flight. Flying today 350 to set down. So we've got 350, which is set. It's around 850 feet for the elevation down in Zagreb, which is also checked and set. Position lights etc. are all on. The APU is ready to switch over. Go to the APU gen. Now go down and get the IRSs already aligned so we can depart out nice and sharpish. So we're leaving from Lima Foxtrot Sierra Bravo, which is checked. Go to the left GPS, get that all in. How many in? We've got Lima Delta Zulu Alpha for Zagreb, which is between Croatia and Slovenia. Departing out of runway 15, we're going to be taking the IXEG 7 Sierra, which is right here, which is checked. On for the routing, we're going to be leaving from IXEG, we're going direct to Amrup. From Amrup, we're then going direct to Dejes. Dejes is direct to Medeb. Medeb will swing us down to Elmem. From Elmem, we're then going to take a direct route to Gedso. Gedso will take us to Vecken. Vecken's riding us to Lulud, which is the start of our arrival. And then we're going to take in the Ludid 2 Zulu, which is going to come up. So we've got the Ludid 2 Zulu, which is in and checked. On for the ILS, we're coming in I think on the Yankee. We'll just check on the charts. I'll show you guys the departure and everything that we're going to take coming in. So we're coming down on for the ILS Zulu 04, which is going to transition for X, and which is all checked in. We hit X and on the arrival coming down from Lulud, we're going to ride in for the Lulud 2 Zulu, which we're taking max 220 knots to make a right hand turn to 223, 5,500 above once we pass Godler, and that will lead us down to Exon for 4,000 above, which is our initial fix, which is the transition. Then we ride through from Exon from 4,000 to 3, descend down onto the 043 for the completely glide path, and we'll probably range around 750 to 800 feet per minute. So Cat 1 553 for 200 foot decision, which is also checked. Landing elevation, which is 353, so we'll change that back to 350, which is also set and checked. And with that now done, the aircraft's all ready to go. So that's activated. We'll go over and get our perfs. So we're riding around 65 tons. Got 3,900 meters of runway available, and we depart out today. So that's going to load in just a minute. We've got now cost index, which is 33. So we're going to load that all up, which is checked. We've got 350, which is in. Trans is 10,000, which also going to set back through. Cost index going to be 33, and we can pump that all in. So full takeoff we're going to take, full climb, we can go through to a climb 1, which will be fine for us. As we get the runway winds off of the METARs, leaving out, we've got variable 3, so we can call it 154 at 3. So we checked. Take a flaps 5 for 131, a 136 and a 142. Got the centre of gravity for the trim, which is 5.86. We're practically now all ready and set to go. So we get all of our pumps on, yaw dampers are all on, electric hydraulics which are checked. In the cabin, tell them to get ready as we are now ready to depart. So we'll go in and get the tug as the aircraft's fully set, ready to leave. So we get the pushback, get the tug in. Just want to push straight out. As we can see in the distance, the taxi line. I'm not sure if that really is true, but we'll just get that through there. So we'll just put in 100, 295. So we'll just see what happens. We'll start him if we need.
Go ahead. We've been cleared for pushback and start tail straight out. Roger that. Ready for push straight back. Brakes off.
Okay, brakes are going to be turned off now, which are checked. Packs can be turned off as well. Which are also set. QNH 1022. Which are also set, checked. Flight directors are on. Get the VOR in.
Brakes released. Here we go.
When we do ride. As he now pushes us back. And up to 350, the aircraft's ready to depart. Packs are off now, we'll go for engine number 2. See the ground ignite, N2 will start to increase, 25%, we would inject fuel and we should see the EGT then start to rise. There's 10, 56%, the starter cutout will drop back. V2 leaving out is 142. Okay, which is also checked and set. There's 25 just gone. Engine number 2 now coming in. EGT now starting to increase, and engine number 2 is now alive. As I said, 56% the starter cutout will come back, so if you keep your eye on there, 56% N2, that's when the starter cutout will drop back for engine number 1. We're going to be leaving now on the 152. Parking brake can go on, which is checked. We seem to be coming out alright. Starter cutout's back. Number 1 can now go in.
Alright, steering pin is disconnected. Watch for the slip release from guidance on your left. Have a good flight.
Too soon, bye. So pushback's now going to leave. Chocks are removed. He's now gone. Just check the flight plan, which is all fine for us. 25%, which is coming in. We can then go for engine number 1 for the fuel. See EGT start to increase for engine number 1, and you'll be able to see that just slowly starting to rise now. So when we leave out, we're going to take the 117.45, the Bravo Lima Mike. We're going to basically depart out, take a right hand turn, which will backtrack us out to the outbound for the 332. And once we get to Denlook, we'll take a left hand turn to the 306, which is 36.2 nautical miles to Lassat. So let's go in and get the 117.45. Let's start to cut out number 2, just come over, and number 1, which is set. So I'm just going to put them on both sides, 117.45, which is checked. And we are now all good to go. On for the taxi, we're pretty much going to taxi up Bravo, we come out off of the main, and then take that right hand turn to come up straight to runway 15, which is the 152. So 152, 350, 332 is what we're going to lead out on to track outbound, which will be 332. Okay, which I'll leave on my side, which is checked. Put the terrain on as well if needs be. And that is us now all ready to go. We've got the VORs on and checked, which are there and set to go. So there's only one thing left to do, is we'll drop our flaps. Flaps 5. We'll switch over the buses. So see our takeoff for the test. If we throttle up, we'll get the alarm if we haven't got flap setting etc down, which is basically saying the takeoff config. So we'll go ahead and switch everything over, switch over the buses which are checked, we'll go over to Gen 1, we'll get the probes on which are set, isolation valves can go back to auto along with the packs, we'll get the bleeds on with the APU bleed off, and the APU can now be switched off as well. Engine start switches are continuous. Tell the cabin to get ready to go, and we are now ready to leave. It's currently 30 degrees, we're going to go full takeoff as we depart out, so we're going to take a tight turn now. As we're going to go from the left, so we're just going to power up. I'm going to take that left hand turn. So we are using ultra settings, we've got the SSD in as well, the 1 terabyte now. We've got the Watercooler 530, so that should improve the loading times on our side. So we're basically just going to come out onto Bravo, as we can see. So we'll come off of Delta and then hit Bravo, and then that'll be us ready to come out for 1.5. We'll arm the auto brakes to RTO, which will be set, and we can pre-arm LNAV off the 400 feet, so we'll run out on head and select. The flight will also be recorded in 1440p as well, so you guys can enjoy the lovely resolution. As we now taxi on down the taxiway, you can see outside we've got some of the pilot's views set up, as they need to set up our views properly for the wings. As you can see them bouncing away as we taxi down Bravo. Going to go right away to the end to 1.5, and as you can see that's where we're going to backtrack up. Over on the departure side of things, 13 to 1900 and 8005, so it'll be a continuous climb 162 until we basically make the turn out. So we'll hold a V2 plus 15, which will be the 162, just around V2 plus 20. And that's going to be us, what we're going to hold all the way outbound. So we'll stay flaps 5 until we just rise up, take that left hand, right hand turn, and once we get into the inbound track, we can then go back down and start to speed the aircraft up. So it'll probably be a quick departure, probably be a quick descend up too. We're going to hold our V2. Okay, so what I'm going to do is for takeoff, well, I'm going to run 2,000, 3,000 in and 800 feet on a reduction. So that way, by the time we just about take off, 800 feet AGL, thrust reduction will come in, so we're not going to rock it up, and then we can go on to acceleration. We'll hold that until 3,000 feet. Auto brake can be RTO, we can arm LNAV, which is pre-armed, coming out on head and select. And enjoying the flight, guys. Hope you guys do enjoy it, and I hope you can hear me as well now, as I've fixed some of the audio, so I hope that has improved things. As we now taxi on through, you can see it's gliding through. So we upgraded the SSD to a 1 terabyte Watercooler 530, just because I only had a 250 gig, and that was the normal C drive that had Windows on. So I decided to get that one, which is like double the speed of the one that was in there, which was a WD 550 or something. but this fire cooler is like 2 times faster, and the speeds are like 7,000 to 7,500 megabytes a second. So we shouldn't have no problems on the loading front sides, and that should fix everything, just give us more performance. Obviously the CPU runs at 5.2 gigahertz, so slowly but surely we will get there. So before takeoff checklist, we're coming out on the 152, flaps 5 which are down, packs are auto, bleeds are on which are checked, auto brakes RTO is now going to come down to runway 15. Let's just slow down now to the end. I'm just going to make sure that we can go down to the end and get the full length off of this runway. So we're going to go all the way down to the end of Bravo. As you can see. So the controls are a little bit sensitive on the rudder side. Okay, there's our right hand turn, which we're going to take just after takeoff. We'll stay in our flaps 5 until we've done the procedural turn. It'll give us more manoeuvrability turning. So cabin crew, take your seats for departure. Engine start switches are continuous. Clean the cabin, let them know that we are ready to leave. One more look outside before we go. One more look down, just to make sure we're all setting and set, which we are. So we are now ready for our departure. Full takeoff coming out. Should be interesting, 30 degrees. As we come around, we can see the whole short line there. So cabin crew, take your seats for departure. Okay, as soon as we cross over, we'll just slow down just a little bit so we can get all of our lights on. As we just cross over, we'll run it down straight. So we'll get the strobes on, which are checked. Runway turn flights, which are also set. And we just need to set our trim, which we'll quickly do once we line up onto the runway. Short little thing, so we'll get full potential. Okay, so there we are. Set the brakes on quick so we can set the centre of gravity. Centre of gravity coming through is going to be 585. As we say, there's about 585, which is good for us to go. Get our landing lights on, which are set. Cabin is ready to leave. We'll bring up the yoke so you guys can see the inputs, and we are now ready to go. So we can release the brakes, full pressure on the column. Just power on up to around 60%. Okay, stabilised. And toga. Airspeed live. Check. Throttle hold. 100 neutral on the column.
V1. Rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. So we're going to hold V2 plus 15, climb's going to come in at 800 feet AGL. Okay, gear is up, there's climb 1 coming in. Oops, there we go. Auto brake can be turned off, gear can be slowed. So we're going to go into that right hand turn now. and stay until we leave. And just climb through. Come on to flaps 1. So now travel outbound, ready to then set back off of the VOR. There you can see where the aircraft's working. I'm going to stay for flaps 1 until we get all the way through. It's 4,000 feet. Don't know why the trim's going so crazy. And we should be set. Autopilot can go in. Get VNAV in as well. So I'm going to speed us up, ready to come through. So, got flaps up. And flaps 1, which is in. I'll just take that right hand turn now, just leave it off. There's our flaps up speed, which is already checked and set. When we turn off lights, it's going to be turned off. As you just take this right hand turn, let's speed up in through 8,000 feet, 220 is where we can go max now on our speed. Onto the climb out. Lovely views as we leave out of lovely Basil. A little bit rocky as we leave. Because it's quite turbulent, just leaving out. As we come out on that wicked approach now, we're holding 220. Flaps are fully retracted. VNAV speed is now holding the 220, which is mandatory now, before we make this right hand turn onto the 076. Okay, 076, which is in. Take a look at the right turn now as we blast over the runway. Super views from Microsoft Flight Simulator. So there's that right hand turn coming in now as we hit the 076, doing 220. Once you leave past, then we can start to speed up for IXEG. So there's our climb speed, which is going to come in. The aircraft's going to start to pitch down just a little bit as we're in VNAV speed, so the aircraft's going to capture the speed and then it will go back into its climb out. As standard for the Q&H, which is set and checked. Engine start switches can now be turned off, passing 10,000 feet. Landing lights can be turned off as well, which are also set. Auto brakes off, gears up and off, lights are all out, and we have VNAV and LNAV all engaged, ready for 350. So I'll show you the plan coming in for the runway when we do decide to come through from Elbed. We then go to Elman. From Elman we go to Vexen, and then there is Luid where we come in. So from Luid we're basically going to make a right hand turn, which will take us to Godler. Gondola's going to take us onto a left for Exon, and then Exon's going to take us directly down to the runway at 3,000 feet, ready to descend. So let's just fly out now of lovely Basil. 11,350, everything overhead is looking nice. Got the transponder, which is on TRA, which is also checked. And that is pretty much it, guys, for the departure. I'm going to leave you with some aerial cinematics of the departure out, and I will see you when we get back in for our Tompedison, ready to come into lovely Zaja airport for the 04 arrival for the ILS Yankee. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you back in the cockpit ready for our Tompedison. Hi guys, welcome back to the flight deck as we are now just descending through flight level 340 just left. On top of descent in range, variable deviation will catch up to that once we pass the top of descent point as we use the altitude intervention. As I think we went past the top of descent point as it must have recalculated a new one. So as we just pass that, just near 20 nautical miles, the aircraft will descend down around 1,000 feet per minute until the top of descent point is reached, or i.e. the vertical deviation point, which is right here. If we was away from it, it's going to drop down to us once we pass over it, which will be all set and checked for us. Engine start switches, we can switch on to continuous, which are set. We're in the cabin now, seatbelt signs are on. As we're coming in for the arrival, I'll show you the arrival chart as it is a little bit bumpy as we're getting ready to descend down through flight level 338. So we're going to come down to Lulud, which we are currently 97 nautical miles away from. We're going to hit the Zulu Alpha 610, take a right hand turn to 223, pass Gauntlet for 5,500 feet. So we'll put 5,005 in, which is checked, terrain's on. So top of descent point now is just coming in just under around 10 nautical miles. So once we hit X and a 4,000 above, we're then going to move down and proceed to the runway, max 220 for Lulu to Zulu, which we're going to take, so we get 22 Zulu. So let's go and check our speeds, 220 once we get to Lulu, and once we arrive down for the Zulu Alpha 610, there's a 220, 5,500 above, 4,000 above for X, which is there as well. And then we drop down for 3,000 feet, 043 coming in, and a 3-degree glide path, which will get all of our landing and everything all set up, ready to go. Minimum is 553 for 200. So let's put 553 in. Okay, 553, which is set and checked. QNH is coming down into the runway, is again 1020. As you set and checked. Auto brake coming through, we're going to take a auto brake number 2, we're going to land in speeds in as well, 87283, which is going to be 4, so 62.9 coming in for the arrival. Okay, 139 plus 5, it's only got about 3 knot winds. The 109.5, which we'll get in as well, the 109.5, which is already set and checked, pre-armed, and the 043 coming into the runway. 043, and that's 042, so do the 043 by the FMC, which is checked. And 043, which is also set and checked, past we flight level 310. As now descending through 31,000 feet. We're going to make our way down at 10,000 feet to Lulud, as we've still got enough time. It's going down a green enough path, just passing through flight level 310. As we see, lovely wings are flying away with the wind coming down. We just see the sunset, and we can see all the lovely lights coming in. So we're recording in 1440p, using ultra settings as well, so we should get some nice resolution coming in. And we've updated the SSD, so we should have some smoother running times to make things a little bit more easier when that big CPU is trying to talk to it. Down past through flight level 300, you can see the vertical deviation is just slowly coming down. So we're just 2,000 below profile as the deviation point comes through. We're still descending down just around 1,000 feet per minute until we do catch up, which it will catch up. Once it does, then it'll go back down onto its original glide path. As we're going to do 1.4, it's coming down for 2.9, which is 2,300. So it's coming down at a rate of around 1,200 feet more on the vertical deviation point than us. So it will touch down, and then we'll go back onto the original flight path that the aircraft has in store for us. So you can see the wings are going like crackers. Get the wing lights on as well, so that can just illuminate a lovely Ryanair sign as we come down into lovely Zagreb. Aircraft's sounding nice and stable. There's a little bit of winds coming through, 50 knot winds coming over from the left as we arrive in. Our speeds was 140 plus 5, which is going to give us a 14, so we need to put that back down, which is going to be a 0.4, which was 62.9. And there's our 139, so Vera 30 plus 5, which will give us our 144. 043 coming in, also brake number 2. Can do flaps 5 under 250 knots, flaps 10 on 210. I do have the performance charts for the 700. Just need to go through them a little bit more, as I haven't had a look at them properly, but it does have the full takeoff performance as well. So as we make our way down into lovely Zagreb, you can see the sky textures as we come down onto that lovely arrival. So we're going to veer down onto a right hand turn. That's going to pretty much be 2 right hand turns onto a left and a left, and then we'll be lined up onto the runway pretty much. There's Lulud, there's a slight right, another right, left to left, and then we'll be in for runway 04. So I've got the flight recorder as well set up, so I will give you guys a lovely wing view of the arrival in. If you can't see too much, I'll lighten it up so you guys can actually see the lovely textures on the ground of the scenery around Zagreb. As we now descend through flight level 21, you can see now we are on the vertical deviation flight angle path, 2,000 feet per minute now as we follow the VNAV profile. Bang on for the flight guidance coming down. So the aircraft's doing a good job. As we are right in here, we're not going to put any VORs in or anything. We'll switch over the ILSs, so when they do come within reach we can see the DME out. It should be coming around 20 nautical miles or so. As the aircraft now slowly starts to decel itself, you just see some of the lovely lights coming in. Clouds are pretty fair, not too much cloud coverage as we come in. And we're recording in 1440p, so it should give some more textures in on the cockpit front. So central flight level 263. Terrain is on at the moment, so just nothing in the vicinities here is quite flat. Got 350 on for the landing altitude. We've left 35 on the cruise for the flight altitude. Our speed's coming in as we're going to be taking a 144, so it'll be about 800 feet per minute on the arrival as we take the ILS Yankee or the ILS Zulu. So we hit X at 4,000. Once we hit down by the localizer of 109.5, it'd be 8.3 DME where we start the descent at 3,000 feet. So as we're on VNAV path, the aircraft will go 3,000 feet no lower, so it'll follow all of its altitude constraints coming down. We've got our DME to reference altitude, the igniter sober's out, and we're going to run it down on vertical speed. So that is pretty much us. Max 185 at Zulu Alpha 401, so it'll be at 185, flaps 5 will be down, and we'll be down ready for flaps 15 by the time we start that descending. You can see some lights now in the distance as we slowly start to come over. Have a look out the window as we see them lovely textures. As we still carry that descent now through flight level 230, I'll get closer inbound. As we can see all the lovely lights which are now lighting up just around Zagreb. So just in between, we're on Croatia to Slovenia. It's right near the border of Zagreb. It's still following vertical deviation, which is fine. 27-35, so the aircraft will probably want to descend a little bit more. It's 2,500 feet. Go over the speed brakes as well. Just keep us down our speed. As we're going to slow to 264, and then we need to be to 220 once we get to Zulu Alpha 610. Okay, 210. Two brakes now come back in. As we find level 21. As the sun now draws in onto Zagreb. It's a nice aircraft to fly. Hopefully I can give you some more smoother performance now that we've updated the SSD. You can see we've got a little bit of turbulence coming down. Coming in now, temperatures, we've got +3, once it's +10 we can switch that off onto the anti-ice. It's getting a little bit bumpy. Passing through 20,000 feet, 11,000 feet, we'll switch QNHs back over to 1020. and hopefully it can give you a lovely smooth arrival. So the stutters are completely taken out now, as I think it was the SSD speeds shoving it in the D drive as well made things even worse. They would only work on the SSD, so now that's upgraded. Shouldn't get no more stutters. We get the FlightFactor replay in with the 1440p recordings, and that should give us some lovely smooth views for you guys and myself when flying now. There you see them lovely wings rocking. You'll see the beautiful sky textures as we descend down into Zagreb. I'd say this, the right hand side looks really nice, the way the sun's going down. They're just splitting between the two zones of darkness to light. As you can see out the window, looks very nice indeed as you come down. Now I'll keep these lights on here, so for rendering purposes it will just give the resolution a little bit better for you guys, so it doesn't go fuzzy with the dark colouring. Passing through 18,000, the speed brakes open again. Passing through 17,005. So just lower them down just a little bit. A little jumpy. And let it go down to around 260. Then let the speed brakes back in, it can pick up its speed as it goes down. Okay, so throttles are in now. I'll take the speed brakes out. We'll alarm them as we should be okay for now. Engine start switches are continuous, passing 10,000 feet. We get the landing lights, etc. all on. As we then get ready for our arrival into runway 04, we can see the right hand bends now as we are currently tracking in to Lulud for the 111. Okay, that's 111, which is set. 043 course is set for the IS. That will come into range hopefully around about 20 nautical miles away from the airport. As we pass through 15,000 feet. Going through 264. I'm going to tell the aircraft I'm going to go to 240. That's just so the aircraft can get down and slow down within range. So you can see the speed tape now is going to slowly start to move, passing through 14,002. Should make way for some lovely views coming in. Okay, speed brakes can now come in. There's a decel point. Then we're going to go down to 240, then 22, so it should be a controlled decel rate once we get down to 240. Speed tape should start to move down just in a few moments time, as you can see the decel point which is right there within reach. The ILS system will come in, so you can see it's 20 nautical miles out and 26 nautical miles out. Speed brakes are in. It's passed through 12,000. I'm going to keep the speed brakes open as the decel point is within like just 3 nautical miles. We're going to reach down for 10,006. So there's the throttles coming back in. We can now arm the speed brake because we're going to level off for 10,000, so that'll give us time to decel. We'll need about 3 nautical miles to decel down, so we've got 7 nautical miles. That'll take us onto a right hand turn. Turn the anti-ice off now, which are checked, as we lead on to the 132. Okay, so 132's in before we make that right hand turn. Going to come down for 10,000 feet, then the aircraft will level off, go into VNAV speed, it will slow itself down, and then we'll drop down to 220 from 24. Now the speed tape is starting to drop. So there's a 10,000. Speed tape will start to drop. as I get ready for that right hand turn. Getting very dark indeed. So onto that 1-3 turn, come around to 250 now. QNH has switched over to 1020, which is checked. 553 for 200 foot decision. Got auto brake number 2, VRF30 plus 5, which is a 144. Engine start switch continuous, packs are auto, engine bleeds are on, and cabin has been advised. Okay, so we're going to slow the aircraft right down now. Over the city. Let's make that right hand turn to the 222. Okay, there's the 222. 9,000 feet. Good brakes arms. As we move onto that right turn, now as we descend down even more, see the speed rate drop from 220. Then stay at 220 until we get round to Exon, and then by the time we get to Zulu Alpha 401, that's 185, which is going to basically be when we get to our start the glide slope for 8.1 DMA. Okay, so as I say, drag required after 401, so we'll make sure flaps 15 gear down for that. Temperature's 12, aircraft's going to hold 220 now, coming in for 9,000. Cabin's been advised, and we are ready to come in. Continuing down 8,007, 5,500 above, and we go all the way down to 3,000 feet, which is set and checked. Lovely nighttime views outside. Absolutely stunning. So first night flight for Microsoft Flight Simulator and the 700. Looks very nice. As I say, we're using ultra settings and they do look very nice indeed. So as we make this right hand turn, which is going to take us then to Exon from this left, that will move us on to the 116. There's the 116, which is checked. Obviously the airport just over to ourselves, somewhere over there. 116, which is in for this left hand turn. Speed brakes are armed. Aircraft's handling very nice. There's a runway just over to our left, over the back end of the wing. And into that left hand turn we go. 220 we're going to hold. Once we pass at Exon, we're going to drop into flaps 5, then we'll get flaps 15 gear down by the time we get to the Zulu Alpha 401, which is basically saying 185 on the speed, but we're really going to go down to flaps 15. I'm passing through 6,000 feet now. Still following down vertical deviation for the VNAV path, which is currently 60 feet below. As we hold for 220. And then we'll drop down into our flaps 5. And so the aircraft's going to line itself up as we've got one more turn to do, which will be the left hand turn, which is going to bring us then directly onto the localizer, passing through 5003. We're going to get the localizer all set up and ready to go. So localizer can be pre-armed. Follow it down as we're going to get for 3,000 feet, 4,000 above at Exon. As just getting ready to ride in. So I'm going to go and drop the flaps 5. By the time we get down to our last fix of the Zulu Alpha 401, that's when things are going to get hot. So 043. Checked, and we are all ready to go. So landing lights, runway turn off lights can go on, engine start switch to continuous, cabin needs to be advised. As we now move through, can activate the approach, like I said, it's well above profile. Under 210 we can drop flaps 10. So there's 210. Flaps 10, which we can drop down. Okay, runway's in sight. 3,000 now holding. And flaps 10 down with the VNAV profile. It'll automatically do it until we hit flaps 15 gear down, and it'll hand us control back over our speed. Currently 3 nautical miles to go until the Zulu Alpha 401, which is 8.1 DME, where we're going to start the top of our descent. I think it's top of our descent. 8.1 DME, that is where our 3-degree glide path starts. So that'll be DME 8.3 once we pass the Zulu Alpha 404. I'll stay for flaps 10. You can just see everything as we come out the window. It's a dark nighttime arrival. Gonna hold the flaps 10 till we come down. Let's go. So now slowly starts to come down within view. Once it drops in, then we'll drop down to flaps 15 gear down. As it is literally just nearly night time now as we come through. If you wanted to see what it looks like with the dome light on, that's what the dome light looks like with the cockpit fully lit up. Doesn't look too bad, textures look quite nice. I say it doesn't look too bad at all. So we could fly it down like that, or we could put it back down to the off position when we fly like that. I don't know, it looks quite nice. So we're just hitting 3003, we're just coming up near, passing 10 DME out now. Speed brakes are armed, which is checked. 8.1 DME is where we're going to start the descent down, should be around for 750 to 800 feet per minute. Ding the cabin one more time. Okay, there's a single channel, water glide slope, which is set. Flaps 15, go down.
2500.
So as I haven't programmed the flaps, it's going all the way down, which is fine. We'll just get them down now. So gears down 3 green. That's going to drop down now to our 144. Which is checked. There's our flaps 30, which is also in as well. The aircraft's now going to descend down, passing through 2,700. Just even down to 144, which is checked. Auto brake set for number 2. Landing lights, packs are auto. Engine bleeds are on. 553 for 200 foot decision. Flaps 30. We'll go flaps 40. So I've changed it actually. The reason I go flaps 40 is because I haven't set up the flaps properly just yet. So 137 plus 5, which was 142, which is checked. Currently 5.8 dimmy as we come now into lovely Zagreb, following on single channel. So landing checklist, gears down 3 green, auto brake is 2, flaps down green light, engine start switch is continuous, packs auto, engine bleeds on, and the cabin has been advised. It's passing now 1500 AGL. $350 on the airport elevation on 353. Actually, one more glimpse. It is a little bit dark around this area as we're now coming down onto the runway. I'll show you what it looked like outside on the wing view of both dark and light versions. Okay, so there's the outer marker coming in. As we are coming down now on the descent, we can disconnect the autopilot, disconnect the auto throttle, and I'll control the aircraft. Looking around 800 feet per minute. 142, which is going to come in. There's 142. Come back down the glide slope. Reduce power just a little. There's 750. There's 9. So I'll just bring it back just a little.
Traffic.
Should be okay. Turned all the traffic off, so it shouldn't interfere with us today. Holding 142, nice and stable now. 553, which we're coming for minimums.
400. Plus 100. Minimums.
Continue. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Okay, speed brakes are up. And reversers are active. Full pressure on the column. And welcome to Zagreb. Decel. There you go, reversers can be stowed. Manual braking down at 60. And there we are, guys, down in a lovely Zagreb airport for the flight of the evening. You can see the stutter's now been totally fixed and taken off. I'll just slow the aircraft down. So as we came in on 04, this is going to be the Foxtrot 1, I should imagine, on the Delta. So we've gone past that. We'll come down at the end. Drop the speed brakes. Absolutely fully retracted. And there we are, guys, down in Zagreb. I hope you guys did enjoy the flight as well, as it looks absolutely lovely outside as we come in on our nighttime arrival. We'll have the wing view, change the daytime setting so you guys can see what it actually looks down in Zagreb. But first night flight of the evening, or the first evening arrival as we come down. So flaps are fully retracting now. We can turn off the auto brakes, flight directors can be turned off, they'll reset themselves once they turn back on. About a minute and a half after the landing, we'll get the APU all started up, ready to go in. So I'll make this right hand turn now. Let's go over the hold shorts. We've got the runway turn off lights, which can be turned off along with the landing lights. Okay, so we can now switch off. Okay, which are all checked. And we're now going to move forward as we take this right hand turn. So there we are, guys. I hope you enjoyed the flight this evening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for joining me on this first night flight with the ultra settings. We've got the stutters all sorted out, so look forward to some lovely smooth touchdown arrivals and show you what we can really do down in the cockpit. So take care everybody. Don't forget to like, share. If you enjoyed the channel, then don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for being a part of the community. So stay safe, and I'll see you all again for the next available flight. Bye bye.